What's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? Hope everybody's Christmas went well. Know my did. We had some fun playing tic-tac-toe relay. Tic-tac-toe. I think that's it. Tic-tac-toe relay. Drank good stuff, ate good stuff. Good time. So in today's video, we're gonna be talking about narrative work and 8 essential things that I feel like you should know when filming narrative projects. So before we get started, I want to welcome all my newcomers to the channel. Again, for those who are new here, my name is Sean Brooks from Brookssmedia. I own the #1 commercial production business in Chicago, gang gang. And on this channel, we cover gear, tips to make you a better business person, video tips, filming tips, you name it, anything based in the film world. That's what we go over on this channel. So with that being said, all my OGs who've been here, go ahead and comment we in the building, like the video now because you already know how I'm rocking. My newcomers, just sit back, I'll earn your like. I'm gonna get it. Also, before we get started, we are still testing out the wireless Vimo C wireless mic. Let me know how the audio is, but we are still using the audio directly from here. But if I feel the audio is good from here, then I'll keep it to here. Editor Sean will make that decision. So before we get started with the 8 tips, I do want to start off by saying this. Pre-production is the best tip I can give any of you all before starting any production that you do. So there are 2 things that I use in my pre-production workflow, which is gonna be Milanote and Shot Deck. Now, nobody is sponsoring this video at all, but these are the 2 platforms that I highly recommend when you want to sit there and get your notes jotted down on something very organized, whether it's changing the color palettes or literally just dragging something as simple from Shot Deck to Milanote. Is very easy with that program, and I love it. And Shot Deck is kind of give you an idea of how you want your framing to be, how you want your lighting to be, your composition, all that good stuff. So those are 2 of the pre-production tips that I want to kind of give you all out the gate. Now, #1, the first thing that you all should know and consider when filming narrative work is keeping your focal lengths consistent. Right, so sometimes you see some type of projects where you may see somebody shooting like on an 85 in one scene, and then the next thing they go to a 35. Now, unless you're doing this intentionally to maybe show and establish a shot of somebody coming in, then yeah, switch to the 35. But if you're doing something like a dialogue scene where it's back and forth, that focal length should be consistent because you want to make sure that their face looks the same. One shouldn't be more distorted than the other, and one should be more rounded than the other. Keeping your focal length the same to show consistency and professionalism in your work. So that's something to keep in mind. So if you shoot on a 70 in one scene, over the shoulder shot, then the next over the shoulder shot should be a 70mm as well. #2, I kind of feel like this goes without saying, but because I've done this on multiple jobs, always slate. Okay, it is very important for you to slate. For those who don't know what that is, slate is when you take your clapperboard and you slate.
When we break, scene 10, shot C, take 1. A, take 2.
Scene 2, take 1.
No different literally when I'm sitting here clapping my hands 3 times. That technically can be used as a slate, but although my audio is coming through directly through the K3M adapter, I mean, is there really any point of slate? No, but when you're filming narrative work, slating is very important because 1, if you have somebody else doing the editing, it's very easy for them to see 1, what shot this is, whether it's A roll, B roll, shot 1, scene 2, whatever the case is. And then also, if you do not have a camera that does not have timecode, and I filmed productions where I did not have timecode and it was not an issue, so that was something that's in your mind, you gotta have timecode for narrative work. No, you do not. But the person who was running audio, he asked I had timecode, and since I did not, it was very important that we slated for every single shot. So remember to always slate. Now, before we move into the third thing, I'm gonna go ahead and add this now. I know I dropped some gems for you by now. Give your boy the like. I feel like I earned it. Those 2 out the gate, I'm pretty sure some of y'all didn't know that. And if you did not know that, just give me the thumbs up. If you did know and you know I'm correct, give me a thumbs up anyway. You see what I'm saying? I was gonna earn it. Moving on to #3, always record audio and room tone. You know, you may have some projects you like, yo man, audio is not important. Again, I've been there and I've done that. Trust me, audio is always important. And room tone. Sometimes you need something that's to hear how the ambient sound in that room. And you probably think like, I go get that for some stock audio and stuff like that. But believe me when I tell you this, it's actually very easy just to record room tone in the location that you're at. You don't have to worry about how if the audio is gonna sound off or not right. Always record audio, always record room tone. #4, I don't know if you all have actually ever paid attention to this in the movies, but it's actually kind of important. If you can, right? If the scene, at least if you light your scene correctly, you should be able to do this, but always try to film on the shadowy side. And what I mean by that is like if the light source is like say coming from here, then you want your camera to be filming on this side. What it does is essentially just adds like a little bit like dimension into your characters, and it is quote unquote makes it look more cinematic. I hate that term cinematic now because it's used so loosely in every single thing that we do. But if you kind of want that cinema look, if you pay attention to other movies and stuff like that, you kind of notice that they're always kind of filming on the shadowy side, where so it's kind of dark over here to kind of create some mystery. Or depending if it's like a rom-com, even if it's like a rom-com, something like that, usually they're filming on the shadowy side. So No different than when you're doing interviews. Typically, you shoot on whatever opposite side that your light is on. That's your camera's gonna be on that side. So if your light is on the left, you're gonna have your camera on the right. Now, before we move into number 5, I want to kind of give you guys a heads up. Anything that you all want to test out for your narrative project, or if you need to rent gear, please check out lensrentals.com. I rock with Lens Rentals heavy. They're not sponsoring this video, but they did give me 15% coupon for you all to use. So if you want to check out any gear for your narrative projects, you got something big coming up and you don't want to buy it, check out Lens Rentals and use coupon code Brooks15. You get 15% off your next order. Number 5, this is something I kind of discovered this year when filming my own projects. If you can, have a director's monitor and have an assistant or producer always looking at your shots, because sometimes there are going to be things that you miss, right? So if you're filming something, you just if you're worried about composition, if you're worried about the lighting, the art, like if you're worried about so many things while filming, there's going to be some things where you miss, and you kind of need to have a helping crew to kind of help you pick up on those areas that you're lacking in. So whether it's my wife, whether it's my AD, I usually have someone on set watching what I'm doing to make sure that it's staying consistent. There's been so many times where I filmed somebody where their hair was messed up, their clothes was messed up, something like that, and sometimes it just happens. You just miss it. So having a director's monitor and have somebody else there, a second set of eyes, can save you a lot of time and a lot of headache, and to make sure that your project is always looking the best as possible. Man, I am dropping some gems in here right now. I know, I'm listening to myself say this. I'm like, yo, this is pretty good. Number 6, do not be afraid to reshoot something. Listen, it's going to happen. Not every single shot is going to sit there and be perfect. So let's just say if the director let's just say if you work on a producer, right? They get the shot and they see the shot how it's gonna be framed and everything. Like, oh yeah, that's the one. But let's just say for some odd reason you didn't record, or you stopped recording too soon, or maybe you bumped the camera, whatever the case is. Don't be afraid to speak up and be like, hey, can we redo that again? There's something, and just lie, okay? You just lie. I'm telling you right now, just lie. Be like, hey, you know what? Something was like a little bit off. Let's redo that again. Same energy. Love what you did. One more take. They'll never know the difference, okay? So do not be afraid to reshoot something if you mess something up or miss something. All right, down to the last 2, and I feel like these are actually very, very important. So number 7, be very vocal with your crew, whether that's your gaffer, lighting person, AD, whoever's on your crew. You need to learn how to give very clear, direct instructions to them to make sure that your production runs smoothly, on time, and it looks the best as possible, right? 2 hours, and we have not gotten to the bathroom yet, or the bedroom.
Yeah.
So are there shots that we can eliminate to still use from the other one and get the shots that are most important here?
Yeah.
So if you are working with a gaffer, and this may be your first time working with a gaffer, there's nothing wrong with you asking for their feedback. But if you like, hey, if they give you an idea and you don't like it, say, hey, I don't like that. Do me a favor, move this light here, change this position here. This is the look that I'm going for. Or if you need your AD to make sure that you're always running on time, like, hey, let me know how this scene should only take 30 seconds. If it takes longer than that, let me know and tell me to cut. Like, be very vocal in what your team and what you need them to do. Well, some people don't realize the DP and the cinematographer, they kind of like share the same title. It just depends on how you want to look at it. But in most jobs, the DP is also the cinematographer. So it's also like your production, your vision, how you see things. You need to make sure that your crew understand what that vision is. But if you don't give them clear, explicit direction, that affects everyone in your production. Last but not least, this is something I just happened to learn this year because this is my first time ever actually buying this thing and actually using it. But I would say if you kind of want to give your film that ultimate cinematic look, you need a Haze Machine or a fog machine. Let me tell you something, man. I don't know what it is, but adding smoke to something, you see this in a lot of movies. In a lot of movies, they always have some type of haze or something like that. Like when the light is coming through the windows, you can see those light rays. They're adding haze to their scenes. Now, obviously, haze machines cost a lot of money, so I use a fog machine. Works the same. Get somebody with like a bounce board waving around, or just put it in front of a fan. Pick your poison. Adding a haze machine to your narrative work is going to give you that nice cinematic look that you're looking for. Sometimes you don't need to add black mist filters to everything that you do. Sometimes adding something like, as simple as haze can give your film such a unique quality cinema look. That's usually all you may need sometimes. But with that being said, man, hope y'all enjoyed these tips. I actually, made sure that I showed you all some nice BTS to go along with this, just so you all can see me in the process of me doing this, right? It's kind of like a practice what I preach type of thing. But having these tips, like after working this full year, like doing narrative projects, I learned a lot in this year. And a lot of these tips has helped me and saved me on like a lot of my productions. So with that being said, man, if I missed anything, please let me know down in the comment section below. If there's one thing you would have added to this video, let me know what that would have been. Other than that, you can follow me everywhere, Brookssmedia with 2 S's. If you want to add the S, you ain't spelling them right. It's your boy Sean Brooks and Brookssmedia, man. I'm out. Deuces.